What is going on, YouTube? Pass the Prop is back here. We're here with a little split show here. 2023 recap. NFL season obviously going to drop a couple NBA plays. Probably going to be a little bit of a quicker show here. I think we have 3 total plays for you guys on the NBA slate. But joined as always, Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I think the vibes are very high today. I'm looking outside. It's a little bit rainy. It's a little bit, gloom out there. But for me, it's all sunshine and rainbows. It's a great Super Bowl. I know both of us had a lot of success there. And that's not common. I mean, like, the Super Bowl is a hard game to win a lot of money on. It's an efficient market. There's a lot of weird props, a lot of stuff to get caught up on. I told you guys on the show that if the first quarter didn't go my way, then just don't text me, don't call me. But the first quarter started strong. So the vibes have been high ever since then. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. I mean, it was a fun game. I very much enjoyed it. I went on Twitter and I saw everyone arguing, Shanahan this, overtime that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, to me, I feel like that's why sports media is so lame right now. Like, we just got a Super Bowl overtime game. That was awesome. You know what I mean? The script writers were on overtime. I mean, there's no proposal at the end, right? So we didn't get the movie ending that all the people on Twitter were talking about. But it was a fun game. I had the Chiefs, so I obviously did end up walking away with a little bit of money there. But it was just a very enjoyable game. So I'm glad, we succeeded this season. We succeeded in the Super Bowl. Now it's time to succeed in some NBA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think all 3 of us had Chiefs, which was cool. Josh had Chiefs as well. I did as well. You just can't bet against Mahomes as a dog, man. It's crazy. I made money on the last 2 games, betting on the sides just because Mahomes is coming out here. I think it closed at 2.5. Yeah. Got down to 1 for a little bit, but ended up making good money there. Props were fun, obviously. I posted a few of those. Obviously, we'll talk about those in a second here on the show. But, yeah, overall, pretty good show. It should be a fun one here to talk about a little bit.
Yeah, for me, the only bumper was Juwan Jennings on the show. I was feeling real good about that one. Then he got that check down pass for, -4 yards?
Yeah. I'm happy that he ended up getting, 4 because I would have felt awful for you guys if he caught – I'm just happy, keep going, dude. Just keep going if you're going to just get to your 2 and it's, for 4 yards.
Yeah. I'm not that guy that, gets hung up about bets or anything. But, I've watched every snap of the night. That play's never happened. They've never thrown an emergency check down to Juwan Jennings in the backfield this season. I've never seen it before. So once that happened, I was like, okay, we'll probably lose this bet. That's okay. But, yeah, that one was obviously a bummer just because me and both – Josh were on that. And then I had under 15.5 yards. I was like, okay, I could still win the yards. And then he kind of put that to sleep when Debo went out there for a minute. But, man, it was a good game. And I don't know. Were you a heads or tails kind of guy? Did you come up?
I bet the over national anthem, bro. That's all I said. Okay. I didn't bet heads or tails, but I took over on the national anthem. I'm not happy that Juwan Jennings got that, but I was on the under 4.5 sacks. So, Purdy throwing that shit away really helped me because Mahomes took more than usual. So I ended up having that one. I didn't have any on the halftime because I tried that a couple of years ago. Staying away from that. But yeah, dude, I know the people saw. I don't remember what book it was that had all the Taylor Swift mentions or the Taylor Swift videos. Yeah. I'm like, dude, how can you ever bet an under on that shit? That shit was the entire second half, bro. Because Kelsey didn't do shit in the first half, and they still found a way to get her on the screen,
It was good. And I mean, too, some of the live stuff was crazy. At halftime, Kelsey was 38.5 receiving yards. And I mean, I had a shit ton of money already on Kelsey. So you can't in good faith, you can't triple down. I think I only added, another unit to that or whatever, but 38.5 yards in the second half for Travis Kelsey. It's fun. Even in the Super Bowl, you still get these kind of insane live lines out there. But yeah, and then to me too, I think the most fun thing, I don't know if you saw, I had Mecole Hardman to score a touchdown at 16-1.
Oh, wow.
And I was so fired up that the Chiefs won because for me, that was kind of a big part of the night. That made, I was in the green, by far, no matter what, if the Chiefs won and Kelsey went over. So when they won, I was so fired up that I didn't even see who scored the touchdown. It took me 15 minutes. I had to go into my account. People are tagging me, sending me messages. Thank you so much. And then I got a whole, second celebration from that. So that was fun. Shout out to Miko Hardman. Guy's done nothing for like 4 years and has 2 Super Bowl rings, a couple contracts to show for it. And he just made me some cash. One of my new favorite players. Love you, Miko. I got to get a jersey for you next year, buddy. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, the beginning started the way I wanted it to. As a guy betting Mahomes and the time of possession, we'll talk about those plays in a second, but everything started perfect. And then I ended up, you talking about live bets. I live bet Patrick Mahomes at 230 yards. Wow. I got him at 230. I think it was 231 and a half because he had 12 yards. He was 6 for 6 for like 12 yards. And I'm like, dude, all my bets are fucking chalk. Fuck. Even though it's only the end of the first quarter. But, you start struggling when all your buddies are watching you all tailing your plays because they're like, oh, what do you have? And they never bet, right? They never bet. But they tailed the Super Bowl. They were all happy with me that we ended up winning almost everything. But, man, dude, it was just – I saw 230, and I'm like, this is Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl with 3 quarters left. And then he throws the 60-yard bomb and fumbles it, and I'm like, dude, that couldn't have gone any more perfect for it right there. And then he just started obviously chucking away and getting us there. And we got 21 live viewers in the chat here a couple minutes in. We appreciate you. Hit that like button. We're going through our recap here. Share the video. Hit that like. We'll get it going here for you guys. Obviously, going to talk some NBA here in a little bit. But we got to recap. Let's recap Josh's first one as well. He ended up cashing this for us as well. I bet on this with him. And then all my buddies were like, I'm like, yeah, I tailed a guy on the show. He's like, dang, they have that at plus money? And I'm like, yeah, dude, just don't tush push on me and we should be good. So that was awesome. Shout out Josh for joining us there. We talked about the Jennings bet. Obviously, that's the only one. That was our only other loss on the show. I think that was the only loss on the show. I had the time of possession. I thought that would be so easy, bro. And then they made me sweat like crazy, man. They made me sweat so hard there because for that entire third quarter, they did nothing. And then the Chiefs just start creeping back. I'm like, dude, this is locked up, bro. You're up like 9 minutes of possession, and then it just falls apart. I'm like, could this be Shanahan falling apart in there? But at least that last overtime drive, they ended up just holding the ball for a nice 7-minute drive. Really helped us out there. That was really nice. Your novelty, we'll start over there. First play over 3.5 yards. Shout out CMC, baby.
Yep, I doubled down then because they took this off in a lot of places as well. Like it was kind of weird that, or at least juiced as well. But I ended up getting CMC first rush over 3.5 as well. So they both had on the same exact play, which is one of those things that like I already had enough on this one. I didn't need more, you know what I mean? But I was so glad that obviously they could both get it done on the same play. That was nice. And then like we said in the show, I mean, I covered all of my first, drive bets, but I told you guys, CMC plus 150, Kelsey minus 120. These are the 2 most dependable players in the NFL, not in the fucking Super Bowl, in the NFL. And you only need one of these guys, just one of them, to get a first drive catch to make money. Like, to me, that is an insane proposition. Like, you should bet as much money as they will possibly let you, because I had so much confidence that, like, one of those guys was going to get it done for me. And they both got it done. It was very nice. Someone in the Discord also let me know that you could parlay those, which I don't think you've been able to do.
I've never seen that be able to parlay. But.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of what I believe plus 336, something like that action on top of that as well. I was already in deep enough, but got a little bit of the parlay on top. So that was nice. The first drive, like I said, it was, if that went wrong, it would have been a really rough night for me. That odds trader show I do after the games would have been brutal. I would have been, it would have been an interesting one. So I'm glad it went better. Instead, if you do want to see me like fired up in a positive way, I was saying some insane stuff. Like I stopped drinking around halftime, so I thought I was good. But I definitely called Joe Burrow like a pretty much a subpar quarter, but like I was kind of going crazy. So if you do want some good content, I talked good about the Eagles as well for 10 minutes. It was full of surprises. So if you are bored and you want someone to hear people talk about NFL for next season, we did an hour last night, fully me fired up talking about the NFL for next season. I do think that's really good content. So I posted that on Discord. I retweeted it on Twitter yesterday. But if you have some time, I mean, the shelf life is forever. It's for next season. Put that on. It was a good listen.
Yeah, no, we ended up getting that one, and then shout out to Mahomes, man. We talked. I mean, I pretty much just brought up like in that second half. What do you think's going to happen? 4th down and 1. What do? You ain't running somebody else Nobody else is touching the ball but Mahomes, right? And they did that little jet option thing where he has that 1 yard pass to Kelsey or he runs 20-yard run, right? They completely just said, hey, this is your game, Mahomes, man. And I mean, after Pacheco fumbles and fumbled again, recovered the second one, recovered his own. Right after that, man, it's just after that fumble, I'm like, dude, that was probably the best thing in the world for this bet, bro. That was the best thing in the world for this bet. And then he dropped a fucking pitch. And then I'm like, dude, why are we running the football, bro? Like, this man is just walking around casually trying to fuck this game up. And then they're like, oh, yeah, maybe we just don't give him the ball. Or maybe just pass him the ball and we'll be good. And weird how that shit works. But Mahomes flew over this number. I think it ended up closing at 37.5, which always happy to be on that side of all of those bets, getting it moved up, getting a good line. So, and I'm going 2-0 on the last game. I'm happy about. So it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, man, this is one of those I was looking at it early going, woo, I don't know how I feel about this. Mahomes was like, the game script was perfect. It's exactly what you want. And then we go out there and it's like, what are the Chiefs doing? The first quarter, first half, it was like, someone needs to jumpstart this guy, and then they got into, Patrick Mahomes' form, cashed all of our bets. It was interesting. 49ers played a same kind of defense they played for the last 3 or 4 seasons, where it's just super conservative when you're ahead. Like, you can't let them just go underneath all day, because they will. And they did, right? We just saw in the second half, it was like, okay, we can't get anything 20 yards or more. I guess Kelsey for 7 yards every play is going to have to be the move. And it was, and it worked out perfectly. So I saw Jason say it a second ago, can't bet against Mahomes. I'm with you, man, especially in the biggest game possible. It's funny. I said on VSiN, like, this is the one game where, like, all your buddies, that don't watch any football all year are like, it's Mahomes versus Purdy. You have to pick Mahomes. And then, like, the smartest guy in the world, it's like, it's Mahomes versus Purdy. You got to take, you know what I mean? It's like one of the few times where, like, everyone can kind of come together, and it's not always going to be right. This game went to overtime. Either side could have won, but it's Patrick freaking Mahomes at the end of the day. And let's all remember that next year or in 2 years or in 3 years when we have the same decision again. Patrick Mahomes versus Jared Goff. Patrick Mahomes versus Tua. Always just take Patrick Mahomes and keep it moving.
Yeah, I'll share my one other sweat was I had both teams to score 20 points. And I'm sitting here with fucking Jake Moody missing an extra point, kicking that shit in the dude's helmet, bro. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, is this helmet going to lose a bet? And then obviously the Chiefs end up on 19. Like, what the hell, dude? And I literally was just looking at everybody. I'm like, come on, just get a field goal here. Come on. And then I even learned the overtime rules. Just, I guess the Niners didn't know the overtime rules either, I guess. So they're just like me, sitting on the couch not knowing what the other thing was there. So, yes, it was a great season for us as a show. We didn't count any of the guests, even though the guests did fantastic for us. This is 116 plays. What, 19 weeks, 20 weeks? If you count the Super Bowl, I mean, very, very successful year 3, heading into year 4. Shit, man, getting old already, huh? I can't even keep up with the numbers, man. But very successful, very happy to be at this number. You got anything to say, Stu, about our final numbers here heading out of the NFL season year 3?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud. I'm very happy with what we've done here. It's been, a grind every season. We don't get paid for this. We come here because we want you guys to get paid with us, right? We're going to tweet these plays out. We're going to keep betting. We want a community here, right? We want everyone to be on the same page. So to do this, I'm very happy. Like, there's a reason none of these, shows are tracked around the industry. And for us, we're like two guys just trying to get something going. Like, we don't have like trackers for us. CBS does. You know what I mean? They got interns, right? All these places got interns. What are they doing? They're not tracking the bets because no one's going to remember what happened last week, right? But we want you guys to know that, like, we take this shit very seriously, and I'm very happy, that we got this done. So yeah, I don't know. I wasn't trying to say anything serious right there, but I don't know. You're going to put me on the spot. I feel like I'm doing a freaking, speech right now. But yeah, it was a great season. Hopefully run it back next year. That nice 15 round number is always a good one to get over, especially we're not throwing out whales, 10-unit bombs. We didn't start losing in the first half and start mysteriously having 3-unit plays all the time. It's consistent, the right way to do it, and we made some money. So I couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, I think we had like a couple 1.5, sprinkle the 2, I think maybe once or twice in there. I'd have to go back and take a look. But yeah, this is like you look at all those other shows. I have all the fancy shit around it. I mean, I throw this shit together on the back end myself, man. I don't do anything crazy. If you want to look at stuff that doesn't have much crazy shit, my YouTube play of the day is just me hitting play and just talking and shit. So it says bootleg as you can get, but we do it for free for you guys. We're happy to do it. And just happy to see these numbers at the end of the season, right? The season goes by so fast, man. It just feels like it's like week one again. We're talking best ball and shit, but shit flies by, man. And I'm happy to see at the end of it, we're still, in the green and making money for everybody.
Oh yeah, way in the green as well. At the end of the day, when you're betting a lot of money, like going away with 5 units is like we made money. We were in the game. Like 15 is like awesome. So I'm excited. It's 3 years. I think year 4 we try to do a little bit better. Maybe we go for 18. Maybe we go for 20. Who knows what happens? Maybe they're going to add first reception props to every game. Who knows? Like these markets are insane, and these guys are all competing with each other. So we're just going to keep finding new ways to kick their ass, even if they get smarter in some other ways.
Well, we have to do like a pose right here so we can take a screenshot at it so we can have this for next year. So I'll just go like this and just smile there too. So you just get screenshot. We can screenshot that one spot there, that little clip there. So we'll have it for either later today or for next year, just so we have it.
Yeah, every video with over 1 million views has someone shocked on the front. So I feel like that's the part I need to play. Like you can be the happy guy. I'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe it kind of guy.
Oh man, that is it for the 2023 season, guys. That is it for that one. Obviously, happy with how it went, but it's time to head over to NBA. We don't stop. Once NBA is done, we're heading into MLB, man. It's just gonna come. We just keep grinding, keep getting after it, and hope you guys will continue to be tailing us as we move out through other sports. We appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Dan, appreciate you being in here live with us. Thank you guys, Josh. Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been fun to do it with you guys and have see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. We got Plus Money Bob in there as well. Always happy to see you guys in here. It is time for some NBA, though, unfortunately, to switch off gears. We're heading over to NBA. Stu, we got a pretty decent slate, I guess, today. What is it, 8 games, 9 games?
It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, 9 games. No, I meant like how many games we have. I think we have 9 game slate. What are you looking forward to the most here?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those days where, like, after the Super Bowl, it'd be very easy to just be like, yeah, I need a day off. I'm taking it off. But I looked at the slate and I was like, oh, okay, we actually got a pretty good day today. I mean, obviously for me, Gafford with the revenge game back in DC is just going to be fun to watch. High energy guys, someone I've enjoyed in DC. We got freaking Nuggets versus Bucks today. That could be really fun. But my game of the day, my big screen game of the day, for reasons we're going to talk about a little bit later, is going to be the Pacers and the Hornets today. I think take out playoffs, take out anything like that. I think that's going to be the most fun game of the night. It's going to be the most wild game of the night. And hopefully it's going to be very good for my bank account tonight.
Yes, sir. That'll be a fun one. Obviously, a 13-point spread there. I think for like good game wise, I'd probably lean towards towards watching that Knicks Houston game where they actually play there. I'm not going to talk about the Bucks. Obviously, you guys know I'm going to like to watch the Bucks. I have stuck to my guns though. I have not watched a full game since Doc Rivers has become coach. I have not watched one. And I said I wouldn't. Still haven't. I still have not watched a full game because I fucking despise the guy, and he was a part of the Bucks organization. Just fucking rat, dude. Slipping under the feet, going under and getting that job, bro. Fuck. Don't get me started on that shit. There's my mini rant of the day. But I think my spot would definitely – I want to watch the Bulls-Hawks, man. A couple of my wagon guys in there that I want to bet on. I'll talk about it here in a second. But I kind of like that spot, man. And especially without Levine, man, I hated watching the Bulls try to just make everything work with 4 shoot-first guys. And Levine, anytime he touched it, turned into a black hole because he knows he ain't getting it back. So I kind of like this Bulls team without Levine. I'm surprised they didn't move him at the deadline here, and he's obviously still there, though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they could have traded him, right? The rumors were that they would have to start attaching other things. And that goes from a profitable trade to a negative asset. And you definitely don't sell low. Levine isn't great, but he's not a negative asset. He's just not like an elite player that you want to trade like 4 first-round picks for. And then, he is getting the surgery. But the rumors were all year. Like there was time. Oh, yeah, once you're just kidding. Yeah, I can't comment on that, but he's got a good paycheck coming in no matter what this season. And I mean, for me, the biggest sadness, I just wish I could watch this team with Lonzo Ball. I wish we could cure whatever he's got going on. Like it was some truly fun defensive basketball, even on both sides, the passing, the 3-point shooting, but him and Caruso like playing defense together, like that would be insane. Like it was truly very fun to watch. He was blossoming into a great guard. And then that injury stuff, I mean, derailed the whole Bulls rebuild, right? Because then the whole thing doesn't make sense. And like you said, now we got 3 shooters trying to jam everything together. And hey, look, you had Kobe White the whole time, who's actually pretty good when you give the guy a chance. So yeah, Gerard said it right there.
Hey, I'm not showing him any love, man. I didn't say that, but I'm saying this team is a little more fun to watch, when you don't have that happening, where it's just a shoot first. You get a little bit more sharing of the basketball. Obviously, Vucevic's been my boy there. Yeah, we got Dan and Plus Money Bob in there. We're there joining us live today. Happy to see you guys. And Stu, I got only one play on the docket for the day. I saw you have 2. So let's get it moving here. I'll kick it over to you starting off. And we'll start off with your half unit spot, the first one.
Sounds good. We're going to Micic over 4.5 assists, -140 over on Bet365. In my tweet, I said that I'm excited about this new look Hornets team. One of my buddies goes to Charlotte a lot and, talks it up and stuff. And he likes like the Hornets. To me, they're by far like the most boring team in the league to watch before the deadline. Like this, with the injuries, with no LaMelo, like that's like a brutal team in my opinion. Right. And now they've kind of retooled a little bit. They got some young guys from the Thunder and then some not so young guys in Micic. He's a 30-year-old rookie, a European MVP, a back-to-back winner that didn't get the minutes he thought he was going to get over in OKC, right? He kind of played an off-the-bench role. He immediately came in and made an impact last game, as did both of their young guys, and Trey Mann, who they acquired as well. Micic came off the bench, but he had 9 assists, 18 points in 26 minutes on 8 for 13 shooting. And I mean, if you go back and watch that game, he was ripping some really nice passes. I mean, it was like some sexy passing going on right there that kind of showed what all the talent evaluators kind of wrote about him when he came over, because a lot of the Thunder people were kind of saying that this could be their backup point guard for the playoff run, right? 30 years old, championship experience overseas. And I think the playmaking is probably going to be the thing that's highlighted the most right now. What I also liked is if you're watching this new look team, right, they got a bunch of new guys. The whole bench unit is shooters now. Grant Williams, Davis Bertans, and Seth Curry. And then all of his minutes were Miles Bridges, because Miles Bridges doesn't come off the floor. So he's in a spread offense with like 3 to 4 shooters around him at all time, where he each gets to maneuver however he wants. He also should have some Nick Richards pick and roll opportunities, but I don't know how much their minutes are going to overlap. I think a lot more of this will probably be on him driving and kicking, creating for some 3-point shooters. And I just love that now we actually have some outside weapons. Look, before this game, Look who was shooting the Leaky Black. Like, we're taking college championship guys that have never played like a second of NBA basketball in their life. And we're like Nick Smith Jr. just got sent back down to the G League before this game. It's clear that they saw whatever they saw with these 2 guys. They were like, we got to keep this going, because Nick Smith was their top pick right there. And obviously they're not their second pick after after Miller. But for me, there's just so much opportunity. He's a good playmaker. If you read about this guy's past, this would be a full unit play easily for me. The biggest thing is always just like the juice right here. I feel like they caught up a little bit faster than I expected them to do. And I see Hunter in the chat brought up Trey Mann points. I wanted to touch on that because I like both of these guys a lot. I think Trey Mann is another value spot. The problem for me is we just don't fully know their rotations yet, right? So from what I've seen so far, I feel more comfortable with that bench rotation for the assists right now. I feel like we're getting a little bit more value, but I think you can make money on both of these guys tonight. Like I cannot say anything negative about any Trey Mann points prop, because I'm really excited to see what they let these new young guys do. You trade them for a reason, right? You send your top 15 pick down for a reason, right? Like these guys are going to be now part of the future moving forward. And as a Wizards fan, I wish they were on my team. I wish we could have done this trade. But now I'm going to be watching a lot more Hornets on League Pass this season, because I think they got some guys over there. I think they'll be sneaky competitive, and I like the shooting on this bench unit.
Yes, sir. And then obviously we still haven't even got LaMelo back in the mix yet either. Obviously he's out.
I don't want him back. I don't like LaMelo. I like the
It's a tough spot. Yeah. It's tough with the team around him and obviously moving Hayward and all that shit. But my advice on that bet with Trey Mann, if you're gonna bet him, I would just bet a ladder on him. I don't know if I'd bet his straight bet. Right. I like this option there if you're gonna ladder that, because when you don't know the minutes, guess what? You're gonna smash it because he's hot and they're keeping him on the floor longer, or his normal rotation is probably like 16 to 18 minutes, whatever it is. And it's not worth playing the minus 110 when I can get plus 200, 250 on an outcome that probably will happen if he hits the minus 110, right? So it's like, I think I would probably want to go with that long shot a little bit more on the Trey Mann, just because he is very volatile and very, very streaky shooter. So obviously that'd be my opinion on that. I'm not sure if you share the same.
No, you nailed that. 100% agree right there. I think long shots, right? You're taking advantage of a wide range of outcomes. That's the goal, right? Because there's so many different things that could happen with Trey Mann. There's a lot of guys that's just not the case with in the NBA, right? But when you get the minutes these guys are going to get now with no competition at all, I completely agree. I'd much rather pay, and we haven't got to the long shots yet, but my long shots are just going to be laddered versions of my bets today, right? Because they're both guys that are in, new circumstances that I think are going to be able to win. And books can't price for that aggressive Trey Mann game. It's the guy's second game on a new team with minutes that nobody knows. Like, the sports books actually can't set those lines. And I think that's the best time to get a little bit of risk, to get some man points, to get some assists. I definitely like it.
Yes, sir. Flan, appreciate you, man. If you could hit that like button, I'll have to check. I don't have my other screen up here to check how many likes we got on there, but I appreciate it. We got Trey Mann there, 15 points at plus 290 on FanDuel right now. Not bad option there. I knew, for some reason, man, I just had a feeling Plus Money Bob would be in here, and I had to play a plus money play. And I'm going with a plus money play here. My boy from Wisconsin out here, Jalen Johnson, over. You could take it over 9.5 rebounds. That's what it is. It's plus 105. But if Jalen Johnson doesn't get me 10 points, then we'll have another issue. That'll be a different issue. But I'm going with this double-double today. And that was the game I talked about, Hawks facing off against Chicago at home. I do really like Jalen Johnson, dude. And these numbers without Capella are kind of absurd. Like, I was not expecting him to take over the leading rebounder role of this team. Everybody kind of just said, hey, well, Capella and Okongwu switch off every 48 minutes, right? If Capella gets 27, Okongwu gets 21, right? So what happens when Capella's out? He should be playing 35, 40 minutes and just be dominating, right? Just crushing. That hasn't been the case on the glass. And I think the main reason is because of Jalen Johnson and how good he has been over this little run here. If we look at his numbers, has a double-double in 3 of the 6 games this month. And if you want to go down a little bit further, he has it in 5 of his last 8 games. I do really like Jalen Johnson in this spot because I look at, you guys know, when I look at rebounds, and that's what I'm assuming this is on. He did have a 6-assist game. Maybe he does that, but Trae Young, obviously very, very ball dominant, probably not going to have too many other options. And then when he's off the floor, you got DeJounte Murray. We know how it goes. Those guys are going to pretty much just absolutely just take over those assist numbers. But Jalen Johnson on that rebounding side, right? These 3 games without Capella, Jalen Johnson, 17.7 rebound chances. You go down the list, Okongwu was over a rebound and a half lower at 16.3. A lot different. And when we look at matchups here and we look at Okongwu, the craziest part to me is you're a center, bro. He is a center. His distance of rebounds is almost 7 feet. Almost 7 feet, bro. That is nuts for a center there. Or it's 6 feet. 6 feet, my bad. But even then, go there. Then we go over to who he's going to be matched up with. Nikola Vucevic. He's over 6 feet for distance of rebound. Guess who's at 4.4 feet from the hoop on those rebounds? Jalen Johnson. This man is crashing hard, super athletic. Obviously, those two are going to probably negate each other out on the outside, but Nikola Vucevic isn't going to be sitting in the paint most of the time. This dude rotates out. He gets out to the corner. He's going to find a way to pull Okongwu out of the paint there as well. So if I'm hitting these spots, I understand DeAndre Hunter's coming back. I understand all that. The 41 minutes, I'm not expecting the 41 minutes like he did last game. We saw Hunter is questionable, probably maybe a little bit more towards probable, but I still expect 20 minutes there. And I'd expect him to be taking away Sadiq Bey minutes, which Sadiq Bey, if you've been betting Jalen Johnson double-double over these last couple games, I bet him in the game against Philly on Friday. I didn't bet him in Saturdays, but Saturday's game, if you were betting the spot, you were just yelling at Sadiq Bey to get the hell off the court because that dude was just going after it as well. But if DeAndre Hunter does play, I'll give him like 18 to 21 minutes. I think 75% of those minutes are coming out of Sadiq Bey because Sadiq Bey is not going to be – they don't want him playing 40 minutes on this team, right? That I don't see that as something that they think is optimal here. And obviously DeAndre Hunter is an absolute stud, and they want to obviously keep growing him as a player there. Whoo, Jalen Johnson, baby. I got to go with this. It was too big a plus money. I grabbed this against Philly at plus 105. And we could still get DeAndre Hunter ruled out. He's on that little questionable spot in injury management. So even if he does play, don't hate it because I think Sadiq Bey gets less minutes. Crazy amount of rebounding opportunities, 17.7, like I said, over the last 3 games without Capella. And I just don't see Okongwu being that much more aggressive. Jalen Johnson's going in there aggressive to grab those rebounds, man. Like it's his ball. He doesn't care. He's not going to try to let DeJounte Murray grab him for stats. Trey Murray grab him for stats. It's Jalen Johnson's ball, man, and I love to see it. So sign me up for Jalen Johnson double-double plus 125.
Yeah, for me, the thing I always think of when I see props like this, I'm glad you brought up the rebounding distance. I really like that. And obviously the edge over Okongwu from a numbers perspective. I think from a more logical perspective, and a good example that you can remember and one that's on the top of my mind is Gafford and Russell Westbrook when they played together, in the sense that Russell Westbrook always had the more dominant rebounding numbers, because when you want to go fast, which the Hawks do, when you want to score in transition, which the Hawks do, then you want your speedy secondary athletic ball handler to get the ball as soon as possible, right? You don't want to have that extra second of the center getting the rebound and passing to it. So when you have a guy like Jalen Johnson, who's so athletic and such a phenomenal rebounder, that means the center is literally going to be instructed. Your job is to box out, right? Your job is to allow the guy that's going to push the pace to get the rebound. So I'm glad you said it from like a numbers perspective, but I think there's a very easy, like logical way to point to this of like, they want to go fast. They want to push the tempo. It checks out why Okongwu's rebounding numbers have been so rough, because when you look at it, it's kind of clear they're instructing him to focus on boxing out, focusing on a team rebound rather than an individual rebound.
Yes, sir. And I did not go to FanDuel. I just had DraftKings up with all my college basketball spots. That's usually where I go. So, hey, plus 145, I might take that number and roll with that one there, because that's some big difference, 20 cents difference. Might have to switch that over to plus 145. I just pulled it up. It is still there. So make sure you guys go hit that, and hopefully you guys get that money, because that's a pretty hefty price for a thing that's been hitting over 50% in his last 8 games.
100%. Definitely like that number. FanDuel, a lot of the times they're self-built numbers as well. If you build it with points and rebounds separately, will also give you an even better number.
Oh, yeah. Let's before we get to your last play here, let's talk about this a little bit. I know Podge has been a boy of yours. He's also a Wisconsin guy. Didn't know if you knew that, but he is a Wisconsin guy. He went to school about 20 minutes from me over here in the Milwaukee area. You have Colin mentioning something as well. Do you think anything changes with Kerr not coaching tonight? Do you have any thoughts here? Obviously, they don't have Mike Brown there anymore as the head assistant. He's over in Sacramento. Do you take anything from that? Do you think you might get a little bit more of the bench guys here? It's a close spread, 1-point spread in that game. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that before we head in? Or is this a ladder spot like we just talked about where you maybe just go at someone who might just get extra minutes?
I mean, I'm a bit of an overthinker in general. So for me, this is something that would worry me in the sense that recently I've been betting a lot of Clay unders and a lot of Pods overs, right? And even a little Kuminga as well. And that's because it takes courage to bench Klay Thompson. I know Twitter can say whatever they want, but to make that actual move in the locker room, is a real move, right? And Klay seems to be taking things well, but for me, switching around the rotations is something that Kerr has only very recently been doing at a more effective level. Is the bench coach or whoever stepping up now, does he have that same ability to say we're closing with pods over Clay today. I don't know. I really don't. I would need to read a little bit more. I don't even know who's going to be actively coaching. So I don't know if anything I said actually matters at all. But I mean, I'm just someone that overthinks things. And that's my first thought when you say that to me. So I might be a little bit more concerned, but I think it's more likely this doesn't affect things very much.
Awesome. Jalen Johnson is my favorite rookie this year. Yeah, dude, he's fun to watch. He is very fun to watch. We got 42 live viewers in here. Thank you, guys. We're at 20 likes. Let's get up to 25. Let's get up to 25 likes here. Heading into Stu's last play, talking about his boy here. Make sure you guys check it out here and lock this one in.
Yeah, and I just saw, man, the only spot even that still has this is moving like crazy. I mean, it kind of makes sense with the revenge game, but minus 130 is still on 365 right now. And then minus 105 for 17.5 is available across the board. I feel very good about both of those as well. Like I'm fine with 17.5 at the minus 105, or even if we get a plus 100 or something, that would be kind of nice on FanDuel. They have not moved their number yet. But for me, man, Gafford, this is a juicy matchup. I mean, this guy, I've watched a lot of Gafford. People freaked out about his first game. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, Gafford isn't like going to win you guys the NBA Finals this year, but he's a phenomenal role player. And what he does fits with this Mavs team. Like Lucas said it. He said, I've been asking for a backup point guard or backup center for 3 years, right? And they happen to get – this is a guy that will catch lobs, get rebounds, and hustle. Like ultimate hustle. Every guy in the locker room is going to love him. He lays it out there. Like he is a great glue guy and he fits the needs so well. And that's why everyone was so fired up last game talking about Gafford like he's a top 10 center in the league or whatever, which, I get riding the high, this is the perfect fit, blah, blah, blah. But this matchup against Washington, even beyond the narrative, is just juicy. Top 5 in points in the paint allowed and rebounds over the last 7 games. And when you look at the personnel, it's Bagley and then it's nothing, right? They traded Rashawn Holmes for Daniel Gafford, and then Holmes didn't even get any minutes in his first game, which shocked me. I actually thought Holmes would play. I mean, I don't think Holmes is like crazy worse than Gafford. They're the same archetype of player. Gafford is just bouncier and, obviously a little bit better. But like for me, I thought Holmes might get some run. So when Holmes doesn't get run, right, the center rotation is Bagley and it's Kyle Kuzma. And then a little bit of Patrick Baldwin Jr. for like 4 minutes a game, which is fine. Perfectly fine if you're not familiar. He's like a 6'9", Michael Porter Jr. kind of shooting outside perimeter player. So there is no depth. There's no length. There's no competition here. I mean, obviously he's going to be motivated to go against the team he just played against, but even taking any of that away, the personnel is just lackluster. He's going to be matched up against Kyle Kuzma at center, right? Which is something this new coach loves to do for whatever reason. So I don't know, man. It's a pretty easy slam dunk. Double-double is like the most obvious bet of the day. If you're watching live, make it right now. Let's get this bet in. I mean, the rebounds is the riskier part. I think if you don't want to do double-double, I already sprinkled that, but I think 15 points and 8 rebounds is a nice little way to get away from that. I haven't put that in yet, but that's something I plan on doing as well, because I think the points and the scoring is a little bit safer than the rebounds. I don't think Gafford is like an otherworldly rebounder. The problem is Washington just sucks. So this should be pretty easy. It's going to be popular, but like obviously it's going to be popular, right? It's kind of got the revenge game narrative, but it makes perfect sense. I've watched enough Wizards for me to feel very comfortable that Gafford gets the job done.
So does that mean maybe you bet on thoughts on betting Kuzma if Gafford might have to guard him? Do you think about doing that on the other side? I'm just curious because I mean obviously with the narrative and stuff, we have that, and I like going on those as well in certain spots, but the matchup is obviously fantastic for Gafford, but having Gafford have to guard Kuzma on the other side as a possibility, that might be something I want to tap in on as well.
Yeah, I think the problem is 14-point spread, right? I have no clue if Kuzma's even going to play 30 minutes in this game, right? Gafford is a low minutes, high efficiency player, right? He had 7 minutes alone in the third quarter last game as a bench guy. So what that tells me is we need to keep this close for 3 quarters for me to feel comfortable for Gafford to get this bet. And then we need to keep it close for 4 quarters to get the double-double. That's how I'm currently looking at it right now. That's a lot harder when you go to Kuzma on the other side. And I'm not betting overs on the Wizards that often this year, unless it's like a Denny rebounds or like a Kispert or a Bilal, one of these young guys that I think the books aren't respecting enough. Like Bilal is someone I want to bet on. He was not widely available last game. I sent it in my Discord. He was at 7.5 points after attempting the most shots he's ever attempted in the game before. Like for me, a guy like Bilal, a guy like Kispert is much more interesting because they're a lot more blowout proof than a guy like Kyle Kuzma. So I don't know. Kyle Kuzma, he's not doing much for me right now. I'm not loving the effort, the hustle. Like I'm not really, I'm more focused on the young guys right now. But I think that's a great question. You obviously want to take advantage of a good matchup on the other side, and I'm sure he will. A little more PJ Washington will be tougher for him, but he's still getting, acclimated to the new team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I know. There's a lot to like today on today's slate. Obviously, we're betting in a game with a 14-point spread there, or 13 now. It's down to 12.5. Damn, dude. People giving that Wizards a little bit more love than I expected. But yeah, I'm sure Luka's going to be a very popular spot today. I'm sure people are going to want to just bet him to oblivion. But I think Gafford off that bench, maybe get those late third quarter minutes when you might see the Wizards already almost give up a little bit, So definitely a spot that we want to back here in this one. Would you play 17.5 on? I'm sure you could probably one of those builders or whatever if you have them. Would you play them at 17?
I would, yeah, but I would just say better price on every other book for 17.5 than FanDuel. So if you have any other book, like -105 DK MGM right now, I think you can, do a little better. But if FanDuel's all you have, I think it's going to I think it's going to close 18.5 by the end of the day. Like this one's going to continue to be popular. It opened 9.5 points, right? And now he's 10.5 across the board. So I don't mind it, but if you do have other books, I would definitely recommend, always getting the best price.
Beautiful. I haven't bet on RJ Barrett in so long, my man. I haven't bet. I've been just betting Scotty Barnes rebounds, assists if I'm going to bet on anybody, just because he's been good in some spots. But there's just so many mouths over there now for me to want to bet on that Raptors team anymore, man. I thought that we would see Barnes take a usage bump, and then you put Quickly in there, and it's pretty much the same. There's not much real changing out there. Do you have any thoughts on RJ Barrett? I'm not really a high better on him.
Yeah, this new Raptors team is something that I do like, the obvious, what do you call it? I do like the, what was I trying to say? Like, I like taking advantage of new places and new opportunities. For me, the thing is there's no depth right behind them with the Raptors guard. So like I could see him getting like crazy minutes and racking this up. So like I don't have any problem with it. Just I haven't seen much value watching these Raptors games, to be completely honest. Like I'm watching I don't know. It's for me, it's just not been, a team that I've been super laser focused in on. But I agree. The RJ has been super consistent, and with the lack of depth, the minutes should be very, very nice in this game.
Yeah, I might look at Scotty Barnes double again, just because he has opportunity to do it in both categories, especially where he might be running backup point guard minutes. Man, he might literally have to do that with no Schroeder there anymore, and obviously they shipped out Dinwiddie, so. Maybe he gets a little bit more of that backup point guard option, point Scotty maybe a little bit. So maybe I'll take a look. If somebody can drop me a double Scotty Barnes ticket or line, I would really appreciate that just because he hit me the triple-double a while back. Maybe I'll just run back to the well there and go for that double-double and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that at all, especially a guy that can do it in a couple different categories. Most likely would be rebounds, obviously, but hey, I don't hate that at all. I would definitely sprinkle that.
It's something, too, where if you think this guy's going to play that many minutes, I'd rather just play the ladders on these instead of that straight bet because when you don't know, like if this dude could play 40 minutes, man, you're going to be kicking yourself when he has 10 rebounds and assists in like that first half, because he's going to play three quarters of it. Ooh, plus 650 on Bet365 for a double. Jesus Christ. Damn, dude. I need Bet365, bro. I need Bet365. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
for RJ double. Never mind. I don't want RJ double. I want the plus 185 for Scotty Barnes double on FanDuel. That's kind of gross. I'd much rather play the Jalen Johnson at 40 cents cheaper than him. But Stu, let's create a quick recap here. We still got 38 of you guys in here, 23 likes. We're almost there. Let's get 25 live. Stu, let's get your 2 in here.
Yep, we got Micic, the newest 30-year-old rookie over on the Charlotte Hornets, if you're not familiar, over 4.5 assists at -140. Then we got Daniel Gafford over 16.5 points plus rebounds, -120.
Beautiful. And I'll be on Jalen Johnson double-double at +145. If you want to be a little safer and you don't want to just bet on those rebounds, you can just take the rebounds, I believe, at 9.5 at like +115 right now. Across some books if you want to just play that. But if he doesn't get the 10 points, we'll be hurting anyway. So do like that spot as well. Stu, you want to give out any long shots there? I don't have a long shot at the moment outside of maybe just like parlaying some of these double-doubles that I just talked about there. But anything that you want to kind of talk about here for a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say both the guys that I like already. I got Gafford for a double-double at +420 right now. And like I said, I will be playing the 15 points, 8 rebounds a little bit later once I can get that up. And then for me personally, we're going Micic, and then we're going assists. We're going to ladder that up a little bit. You can get 8 assists at +400, and then I'll also be playing the double-double there. So it's just ladders of the guys I already talked about today. And then I liked all the Trey Mann talk we did as well. So I'm thinking some Trey Mann 20 points, maybe add in some assists there. That'll be something I add to my bet slip. But right now, it's simply ladders of the guy I already have.
We have 420 on FanDuel. Sarah's talking about that. Would like to see what you guys have for odds on that 20 on the 20 points for Trey Mann. Because I know somebody posted, or Terrence posted Trey Mann at 15 at +290. What is 20? What is 20 sitting at? I'd be very curious to see what 20 is sitting at, because if you're going to give me 3-1 on a 15, those 5 extra points those things usually jump up like $4 or $5, right? So maybe we see it at 600.
Yeah, Pickett says that Hard Rock has +750 for 20, but I don't see like FanDuel or DraftKings having it right now. But like some of these budget books have 750 and 950. So I assume that's the range it might be around. Yeah, Terrence just said the same exact thing. So I would assume a 700 or maybe a 650 on FanDuel. That would be my guess for what we get. Oh, of course, Bet365 has a baby. That's obvious. Of course, there you go. Shout out to you.
I don't think either one of us have access to that one, but
for me, I gotta just shake someone down. I gotta send a text. Oh, are you around? Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? It's like such a pain.
Yeah. God, if I really like something, I have to shoot a text to somebody, but I don't like doing that. I don't like saying, hey, I'll Venmo you money to put this bet in for me. It just feels a little weird,
Yeah, well, I do it all the time too. So I'm like harassing people. You know what I mean? You're probably asking a favor. You know me. I'm like, hey, I need another favor again. I'm not gonna get this +850 line again. But it's awesome. I would definitely get at least $15 down on that +850 right there, and then I'll probably run the 15 plus points and the Micic assist little combination at like 6 or 7 to get some more plus money right there. But definitely like that. I like the unknowns. That's where I think I make my most money. I mean, hey, Miko Hardman last night, right? Let's venture into the unknown. Let's get a little bit creative. I think we got some good spots.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any thoughts? I have no thoughts on that game. Really, I don't really want to. I hate Utah, bro. They just have like 7 dudes that can do it.
But
it's just
they made the trades. They know Olynyk. I like Collins as well. I played Collins last game. We're never gonna get that number again after we put up the 14 or whatever. Like they got all the it's Kessler and Collins now. They had like 8 guys before. Fettuccine, right? We had Olynyk. Like we had all these guys. For me, I kind of like it now that we're a little. I used to feel the same way. They were like
you also got to remember, I didn't bet any this weekend. I had 156 college basketball games to bet on Saturday plus UFC. So I haven't touched any of the. I haven't touched the NBA on the weekend yet. Friday was my last NBA betting day. I've had too much there. I think we lost Stu. I feel like I'm still going here. I feel pretty good about where I am. You guys can still hear me, I'm hoping here. I might have to do our a little outro here by myself, but I think we're still good here. Was that you? That was you? You good? Stu, you good or what?
I'm back.
Oh, yeah. I was like, dude, I think I'm good, man. I don't think I lost nothing. I think we're good on my end. So I guess that's a good time to get us out of here before this goes out. You got anything for the people here, Stu, before we head out?
Yeah, sorry I missed the end right there. But I think this is a killer show, honestly. I think we got a lot of good stuff in there, some solid analysis, some good picks. It's a fun NFL season. But hey, I'm ready to keep it going. I said it last night in the Discord. The NBA is like a roller coaster, right? Like the highs are super high. You're going to love that. But you're also going to feel sick sometimes. You're going to have that lump in your stomach. It's not going to be like it beats you up a little bit. So I'm just saying, if you're not an NBA guy, I bet the NBA every single day for the last 3 years. Just be ready to roll with some punches, right? Because I love the feeling every single day looking at a 10-game slate and going, I could buy a car after today, right? I think that you don't get that feeling in the NFL, right? And when you lose in the NFL, you have to wait a week to try to make up for it. In the NBA, you can get right back to it. So I love it. I'm excited. I love this time of year. If you think I got some random names at the trade deadline, wait a couple weeks till we start benching guys. Wait till we get the backups. Wait till we get the summer league rotations. That's where I shine, baby. That's where I make my money. I'm excited. I love the grind of NBA. And hey, I hope you guys stick with us. I know the NFL viewership is obviously a lot higher than the NBA viewership, but we have some fun here. We have some good analysis. I would encourage you guys to stick around and check it out if you haven't already.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got 36 of you guys sticking with us through 50 minutes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in for all 16 picks of the NFL season. Thank you guys so much for doing that. If you could hit that like button on the way out, that would be awesome. NBA coming in here, NFL out of here, MLB coming up soon. So should be fun. Have a good one, guys. Best of luck tonight, and let's make some money.